Hi, so I'm Emma Verklin. I'm from Connecticut and study at the University of Michigan. I'm here with the Zhizing Fellowship to study China's technology, urbanization, poverty alleviation, and a lot more. It's been an amazing opportunity to see different cities across China, to have a dialogue with Chinese students, and really just learn a lot about Chinese culture and their perspective on a lot of important topics. However, I did think that China was going to be very different from the United States. I tried keeping a really open mind. I was expecting to experience maybe some culture shock. However, I feel like throughout the trip I've learned that we're actually a lot more similar than I thought. You know, we all go to school, we're all really passionate about the environment and other social issues. You hear in the news that some of the cities, because there are so many buildings and people living there, that the pollution is a really big problem. I was really pleased when coming especially to Beijing that the pollution really was a lot better than I expected, and I think that that's because China's done a lot to reduce pollution in their big cities. So we're here at the Chongming Planning Museum, and immediately I'm really impressed by what this island is doing for the environment. So they're really working on trying to preserve a lot of the different bird and fish species here, and that's so important because if you take out one animal from the ecosystem, it can all become unbalanced. The museum, you can see one of these birds here. It's stopping for a little bit of a break before we continue flying south for the winter. You can also see little crabs and all these different plants in the wetlands. It's really just a great museum. You can look over here and see like more birds, and they have lots of different very interactive like demos for you to really understand about Chongming's island. Right now that they're working on an initiative to make sure that these birds have a place to stay so they don't become endangered, and that's really great for the environment and for ecological balance. So this is kind of a fun way of looking at energy transfer and circulation through the environment, and so it's basically representing how photoenergy comes from the sun, and then it goes down to the plants, which turn it into chemical energy, and then animals eat it, like the plants, and then they get that energy. So this is basically an abstract way of showing how energy kind of moves through a system and is sustained. We actually had a lecture on climate policy in China, and while there are definitely things to improve on, their energy efficiency is really great, and there's actually a study done, and I think China is number 6, and the US is actually 8, so I think that China is really doing their part to kind of prevent climate change from progressing more. So I would describe the trip as eye-opening, impactful, and unbelievable. I think it's eye-opening just because I've really been able to take a step back from what I've thought about China and other world issues and listen to other viewpoints. And so I've, throughout the trip, kind of begun to question my own beliefs and think about things in different ways. And I've had an opportunity on this trip to learn about climate change and learn about environmental regulations and technology. And so I think that I'm starting to think of health not so narrowly, but really apply it to different spheres. Like from Tencent and Alibaba, they have a lot of health applications. And I think that it's unbelievable because I honestly never thought I was going to come to China. It's been such an amazing trip. And so I've, throughout the trip, kind of begun to question my own beliefs and think about things in different ways. However, I've really begun to be really impressed by what China's doing to work on climate change and work on the environment. I think that we definitely, as the United States, can learn from what China's doing. So really putting emphasis on clean energy and being more energy efficient, and building better infrastructure to reduce carbon dioxide emission. So I've heard the Chinese president say that green mountains and green water is Jinshan Yinshan. And I kind of take that to mean that protecting the environment is not only good for the earth, and for our health, but it can also be profitable for local towns and villages.